Hello, and welcome back to another book review with Alice. Today I'm going to go over two books because they're book 1 and 2 in a new series. Now these are written by Darcy Coates. I have read Darcy Coates before and I liked their first book that I read. Wasn't a huge fan of the second book that I read because the plot pattern and the beats and that were so similar that I could predict book 2 immediately from reading book 1. And I think I may have just picked up the two books that have a very similar structure to them compared to the other books that Darcy Coates writes. So I decided, in honor of Halloween and that, to try another book from Darcy Coates' series. This one that I picked up was the Gravekeeper series, book 1 and 2. I was so disappointed at the end of book 2 when I realized book 3 is not coming out till next year because, guys, I love these books. So let me just double check the name that I say right now. Book 1 was called The Whispering Dead, and book 2 is The Ravenous Dead. And here, I'm going to post them here for you because I'm too lazy to go get my Kindle. But anyway, my Kindle's black and white, and you get colors. Now, this is part of a series, so there is a third one coming out. And I love this book. The main character, Keira, she is running through the woods and she finds herself being chased by these creepy people and ends up at the door of this guy who turns out to be a pastor or like a priest kind of thing, and he hides her from these bad people who are chasing her. And then we find out she has no memory. She fell in the woods, she hit her head, she has no idea what's happening, who she is, any of this. And so clearly the pastor is going to help her out. He puts her up in his in the cottage, the little house behind on the property that is the caretaker's cottage, and so she spends the night there. And then obviously she decides to stay. He welcomes her. He's letting her stay with him while she decides where she's going to go, what she's going to do kind of thing. And then she goes into town and meets a bunch of people, becomes friends with the local town crazy conspiracy theorist Zoe, who has all these giant stories and ideas about history and that of the town, and makes friends with, of course, the hot guy Mason, who is friends with the priest. That's how she meets him, because she's hurt and Mason was in med school, and so the priest asked him to come and look at her. But the story is so much fun because what you learn fairly quickly is that Keira can see the dead. Nobody else can. And this girl's staying at this groundskeeper's cottage in the wood, next to a graveyard from the church. So she's seeing these ghosts, and at first she doesn't realize what's happening. She doesn't understand why she's seeing this kind of stuff. But then she figures it out that she can see them, and so she decides she's going to help the spirit that is coming to her, because keeps coming to the cottage, and once it realizes she can see it and is begging for help essentially. And so she's like, well, I have nothing better to do. So she decides to help the spirit. Along the way, she gets a cat, just shows up and decides that now she is its person, and she's fine with that. But we follow the journeys now of the main character, who can see ghosts and who essentially has decided to help these ghosts. So I won't tell you what happens at the end of the book or any of that, but so each of the books is a different journey of a different ghost that she is trying to help and to come up with their unfinished business or resolve whatever it is that they needed to have resolved in order to pass on. And the premise of this made me think of the TV show Ghost Whisperer that was around for a few years with Jennifer Love Hewitt. But I love the premise of this because, number one, the characters are fun, they're very deep, they have really great banter with each other, and I love that Mason and her have that lovey feeling, and Zoe's literally one of those people where after a day they're best friends as if they've known each other their whole lives. And the priest tells everyone she's his niece, and that's why everyone in this little town immediately loves her and accepts her, because they all like the priest, so they all get along with her. But I really like the idea of this series because you can go so many different ways with this one premise. If it's a character who can talk to the dead and is trying to help these ghosts with their unsolved business, so many books can come out of this. And I love this book so much that I'm so excited by this because I cannot wait for book 3. I'm totally going to read it as soon as it's out. And yeah, if you're looking for a series with some spooky type ghost things, like I said, she can talk to the dead, she's going to try to resolve unresolved business and that. So if you're looking for that kind of a ghost story, check this series out because I am loving it. I can't wait for book 3. I will read as many of them as Darcy writes, so please write more, Darcy. I know you're never going to see this, but if you do, please, this series is amazing and I love it. So yeah, check this out because it's 2 of them. They were on Kindle Unlimited. It was a lot of fun and I'm loving it. I need more people to love it and read it so that she'll keep writing. So please go read it so she'll write more because I need more. But yeah, both were 4 stars for me. Fantastic. Love it. Go check them out. And thanks for stopping by. Stay spooky and happy reading. Go read the books. Bye.